they had to attend. So it's just going to be me on the microphone with you guys for the next hour. So hopefully everybody is having a wonderful day. And it is about 81 degrees in the city of Cleveland. So that is super awesome. Hopefully this will continue to usher in some nice weather. And it's going to be raining the next few days. So the Cleveland Guardians play tonight. And hopefully that this game will not have a rain delay. There's about a 30% chance of it raining, so hopefully it does not. As the Guardians come back home after they had a West Coast trip in which it didn't go too hot for them. So they're supposed to play tonight against the Oakland A's, who they were able to, I believe, take the series against a couple weeks ago. So they're going to be playing the Oakland A's tonight, and it all depends because it's supposed to start raining at 7 o'clock p.m. and game first pitch is 7:10 p.m. It's supposed to rain at 8 p.m. It's supposed to rain at 9 p.m. It's supposed to rain at 10 p.m. and there on and so forth until 2 a.m. So we're going to see if this game possibly will happen tonight. I don't know if it will. So we'll keep you posted on that. See if there's any announcements about the game. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the Cleveland Guardians are back in town. They went on a road trip that could be considered disastrous. They were not swept in both their series, but they did not perform well at all. And they lost the first series against the San Diego Padres. They just got out hit, outbeat, out pitched. And it was not that great against the San Diego Padres. One of the things that we need to continue to harp on is there's a bat needed. So we haven't reached the trade deadline yet. So that's one of the things that we're waiting on to take place. But the game against the San Diego Padres, they just did not look good at all, and they lost the series. The last game of that series, they were able to put up a lot of hits and was able to get a big win. But what happened in between? In that series. So that's one of the things that is an issue with this team not being able to hit the ball and struggling against pitching that was, so okay. One of the games was a back and forth affair, but the Cleveland Guardians were not able to pull it out. They won that third game of the series. Let's check and see. It was pretty explosive, and that's all that we can ask for. But you can't be losing series right now because one of the things is you're trying to compete for the Central Division, and that's one of the things that you're not going to be able to do if you're losing like this. Right now, let's see where they're at in the Central Division. I believe that they're still second in that division, and obviously the Minnesota Twins are still leading that division. Central Division MLB. AL Central. All right, so the Minnesota Twins are at 36 and 37. The Cleveland Guardians are at 33 and 38 with a winning percentage of 465. The Detroit Tigers are at 31 and 40 with a winning percentage of 437. The White Sox are tied with wins, but not with losses, and they're at 31 and 43 for a winning percentage of 419. And then you have the Royals at 19 and 53 at 264 winning percentage. The Royals are just god awful. It's like after they won that World Series that they just haven't been good since. So they are the cellar dwellers of the Central Division, and the Guardians should be able to get some easy wins against them coming up as they continue to play throughout the regular season. The White Sox, we already played them twice, and it went okay. The Tigers, we haven't seen that much of this season, so we're going to be playing them some more because obviously, with the addition of the interleague play, the amount of times you play teams in your division is going to decrease, which I think is a good thing because you get tired of seeing these teams week after week. So I think that's a great thing that they're going to have series against every team in the league this season. So I love that aspect. And then you have the Minnesota Twins, who right now the Guardians are 2 games behind, which they can easily make up because Oakland Athletics are not a good team. We'll look at the AL West. They're one of the worst teams in all of baseball. So they are at 19-55. So there should be some easy wins coming against this team. So, gosh, it's pretty bad when the Rangers are 45-27. How about those Rangers? They've had a lot of down years, and right now they're balling out. So the Angels are 41-33, and then the Astros are in third place. So the Astros took 2 games against us here at home. And no, actually, we won that series. Excuse me. The Astros won the first game, and then the Guardians won the last 2 games of that series. So they're sitting in third place, and they are the world champions. So that's a little weird. And then the Mariners are at 35-35, and then you have the Athletics in the cellar. That's kind of awful at 19-55. So that's how the American League Division West is shaping up, and the opponent that the Cleveland Guardians are going to play tonight, which are the Athletics. The series against the Arizona Diamondbacks did not go well at all. The Cleveland Guardians lost that series. They had an explosive win on yesterday. I believe it was like 12-3, and that is something that they can be proud of, I guess. One of the things is you can't be proud of losing series and winning the third game. So that's an issue with this team. They have to play better. Defense has to be better. Pitching has to be better. And right now, their starting rotation is in flux because Tristan McKenzie is injured again. So that is definitely not a good thing for this team. Right now, the news just came out that he had a sprained UCL, and I'm not exactly sure what that is. So I believe that that is in his shoulder. So he had elbow. He had a sore elbow, so a sprained UCL, and if we don't know what that is, but that just came out while I was driving. So UCL sprain is a ulnar collateral ligament sprain, is a tear to one of the ligaments on the inner side of your elbow. UCL sprain usually occurs due to throwing a usually it comes with throwing a ball. So it occurs during the throwing motion. So obviously this typically occurs during sports or after an elbow dislocation or surgery. So a UCL sprain, which Tristan is suffering from, is can be suddenly acute or can gradually come over time with wear and tear. And one of the concerns about Tristan is he's so young, about 24 years old. So you obviously don't want this to be a nagging injury, which could curtail his career at all. So some of the symptoms of that UCL sprain is a decrease in ability to throw. So that's one of the things that you definitely don't want to happen, because like I just said, that you don't want anything to happen with his career. So that's not a good thing. All Sports All Play says it is supposed to rain. So that's a bad thing, as we just talked about. And George says, Karen and I say hi to you, Rachel. Hey, George, what's going on? Hopefully you're doing well. So also the symptoms of a UCL occurs when there's a pop or a tear. That's what Tristan might have felt when he tried to throw. He can't grip firm objects with his hand. Inability to straighten the elbow. Numbness or tingling in the right and little fingers of the hand. Pain and tenderness in the inner side of the elbow that worsens when throwing an object, and swelling and bruising of the inner elbow and upper forearm. So Tristan's going to be sidelined for a few weeks. Unfortunately, he was sidelined for the majority of the season with that sprained shoulder. So this is not good. This is not good for Tristan. This is not good for the rotation at all. This is not good for the Cleveland Guardians as they try to get back and try to have a push for the Central Division. So this could obviously be disastrous because you need him. He did not have a good start against the Astros, which is okay. He's coming back from injury. Obviously, we need him a lot. But, it's okay that he went out and threw a clunker. I don't know if he pitched this past week because because of the injury, and I wasn't able to see all of the games. Kind of had a busy week. Normally I catch all of the games, but I wasn't able to catch every game this week, which is unlike me. But I can't remember him pitching in either series. So wasn't sure when exactly this injury occurred, but this is an injury that could be devastating to what the Cleveland Guardians are trying to do. So that's definitely not a good thing because you need Tristan McKenzie in there. You need him in that starting rotation, which is already kind of weak. You already have Cal Quantrill, who is out right now. You have Shane Bieber. You have Zach Plesac is gone. So, he had been one of your starters, but you have Aaron Savale, who is back. You're also dealing with some rookies that's getting called up too. So what was originally a strong thing right now is not a strong thing for the Cleveland Guardians. And one of the things that the Guardians are always known for their pitching and their farm system for bringing up pitchers. And right now, you have the likes of Logan Allen starting. Also the bullpen is a little bit of an issue with Xavier Curry being one of the strongest points of that bullpen. So right now, you definitely have a pitching problem. And one of the things is you might have to do something at the trade deadline to get another starter in here until you can groom up some of these young prospects and have them in these games and not get beat up too much. So that's one of the things that's important. How is this team going to deal with Tristan McKenzie possibly having an injury-plagued year? One of the things I'm concerned with is if Tristan was brought back too early from the shoulder injury and if he was having any issues with his elbow before he came back. All signs point to no, but is this something that bothered him and he just didn't talk about it with the training staff or anything like that? I want to think that he did. I want to think that they were in communication with him while he was going through his injury, while he was going through his rehab starts and spring training. And this is something that's new, but this is something that is not very good for this team as they try to figure things out and try to push for the lead in the Central Division. And I'm wondering with Tristan McKenzie's injury and also the injury to Cal Quantrill, who really hasn't had the best year, could this team possibly compete for that, or are they going to come in second place in the Central Division? They're only 2 games behind. So if they get hot at the right moment and go on a tear, they could possibly push for the Central Division lead. But it looks like the Twins are going to keep that lead in the Central Division. Hopefully not. But with some of the injuries that they have going on, some of the hitting woes right now, this is just not a good team. So they are very lucky to be in the space and place that they are right now because they're not playing good baseball at all. You can't be going out here and losing series that you should win. The Padres loss was okay. When they were a playoff team last year, they kind of went deep in the playoffs. And, they have Manny Machado, they have Juan Soto, they have, what's his name? I forgot what his name is. But the player Tatis Jr., they have Fernando Tatis Jr. So they kind of have some good players on that team. But the Cleveland Guardians should not have went out and lost some of those games, but they did, and that's okay. But this shouldn't be a repeat pattern. So okay, so the Diamondbacks are 44-29. So okay, they're leading the NL West. So okay, I kind of understand the Cleveland Guardians losing to the Arizona Diamondbacks if they're sporting a record that right there of a 603 winning percentage, and then the Padres at 35-37. So they're at 486. So they're in fourth place of the NL West. So maybe they should have been able to win those games against the Padres as well, since they're second from last place in their division. But they weren't. And, obviously going on the road is something that's tough for this team. Obviously, hometown cooking is the best. So this team was not able to win on the road. But like I said, they took the third game of both series and they're back in town now and they are playing. They have the opportunity to play very well against the Oakland Athletics. And then on this homestand as well, they're going to welcome the Milwaukee Brewers into town. So they're going to play the Milwaukee Brewers this weekend. So we'll see where NL Central is going to be. We'll check out the NL Central and see where the Milwaukee Brewers are going to be at in that division. But right now, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. You are listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to WOVU and 95.9 FM. You are listening to Her in the Huddle. Keep in mind that you can always keep it locked right here on 95.9 FM on your regular radio dial. Then you can always listen to us online at WOVU.org. You can also download that WOVU app so you can take us with you on the go and listen to us all the time. And then always you can contact our show or the station at 216-271-0959 with any questions, comments, or concerns that you do have. But there should not be any concerns because WOVU is the best station out there. But you can always give us a call no matter what. And what we're doing is we're talking about the Cleveland Guardians right now. We're talking about some of the things that are going wrong. We can talk about some of the things that are going right. But one of the things that is important is that Bo Naylor was called up from AAA because right now Mike Zunino is just not doing the best job. He's hitting under 200. The defense is suspect. It's hard for him to throw anybody out on steals. Obviously, with the bigger bases, it's making steals kind of easier to do. But Mike Zunino is struggling. He's struggling to throw anybody out and make plays at the plate. Also, wild pitches, he's struggling with those as well. But mainly he's struggling with hitting, and he's making a little over $6 million a year, which is huge for this team. So they need some production at catcher. So they have called up a few different people, but one of the important prospects that they have called up is Bo Naylor, who is the brother of Josh Naylor. So he hails from Canada, like Josh does, and he could potentially be a difference maker for this team as they try to push and make the playoffs and overtake Minnesota. So him coming up is super important because is he here to stay? So far, he had been tearing it up in AAA, and it shows. So one of the things is, he's been hitting home runs, he's been throwing people out, all of the things that Mike Zunino is trying to do. So he's been a star prospect for us. The things that they said was, is it important that he be brought up to not play, or is it important that he's brought up to actually play? So that was one of the things in which they look at when it came to him. So I think that the organization was being absolutely truthful about that, about their plans regarding Bo. I think that they definitely see him as the catcher of the future, but they also want him to be able to play and have an impact. And then, like I said, you have signed Mike Zunino to a contract, which for this team is a hefty contract. So you're looking for Mike Zunino to be able to produce, and right now he just hasn't been able to. So I believe that they assigned him down to AAA to give him an opportunity to hit a little bit and then come back up. They also pulled up, I want to say, I think his last name was Gallagher. It might not have been, I might be lying, but he also contributed as well when he was here. So right now you got Bo Naylor right now as your catcher, and I believe that the other day he called a really good game as well. So this is your future. So life goes on. Obviously, when you're not producing in major league sports, the next person is waiting to take your place, and we're going to see how Bo Naylor does. Some of the good qualities about him are, he actually can hit the ball, and he's been tearing it up in AAA. Something we need a bat in the lower end of that lineup. So it's important that we have him and some of the skills that he's going to bring to the team, and obviously ability to work well with the pitchers and call a good game is going to be something that's going to be critical for this team. So I'm looking forward to him getting more playing time. I'm looking forward to see what he's going to be able to do with this team as well. So that's definitely a great thing. And I think it's very exciting for this team to kind of have some new blood injected in there, to have a player who is obviously going to be able to um, seamlessly blend right in and be able to produce, because immediate results is something that and I think if they get those immediate results, even with the injuries, he should be able to perform at a high level. So I think that's one of the things that the Cleveland Guardians are looking at when they actually called him up, is what is he going to be able to do for this team? How is he going to be able to help? What is he going to be able to do in the absence of what Mike Zunino hasn't been able to do? So I think that they're looking forward to seeing what he's going to actually bring to this team, how it's going to be able to help with the winning percentage as well. So I think that's a great thing. And Josh actually has his brother with him as too. So I think that one of the things is that's super cute too as well. So um, I think that this is a great thing, and Mike Zanino is not doing his job. So what happens is when you don't do that, you get replaced. So it's been a long time in the making, and it is what it is. And let's see what this kid can get out here and do, because a lot is expected out of him, and it shouldn't be. But Mike Zanino was DFA, so that's where he actually went, and I don't think he's been picked up by another team yet or anything like that. But also when you're DFA, that can mean that you're going down to the minors for a little bit. So obviously, um, he needs to hit, and that's one of the things that they're looking for him to be able to do in the minors. So one of the things that they could do is have Mike Zanino go down to the minors, have him hit well, and then send Bo back there, because obviously you're paying Mike Zanino a lot of money to be your catcher. So I think that this could be a thing in which maybe not necessarily saying they flip flop, but this could be possibly a continuous thing going through the season. If Mike Zanino is not able to handle his job, they could continue to call up Bo Naylor and let him get the opportunity to experience playing, excuse me, in a major leagues. And last year he was called up as well too. So he's had an opportunity to be in the major leagues and see what it's like. He wasn't up here very long last year, but they were able to have him up, so he was able to see what it was like and things like that. So Gavin Williams will be pitching tomorrow on Wednesday against the Oakland Athletics, because Tristan McKenzie is going to be out. So he is one of the top prospects, ranked 16th out of 100 major league prospects, and he is his ERA is 2.39. So that's going to be important that you have another good young pitcher coming up. This team has had a lot of pitchers come in, young pitchers come in due to what is going on with the starting rotation. So right now, that starting rotation is not set when you have two starters out. So Aaron Savali and Shane Bieber pretty much are your starters. So there was always questions about your fifth man in your rotation, but this is where you're at right now, because injuries right now is decimating the season. And you're having some good kids come up, you're having them play well, but obviously they are not Cal Quantrell, they are not Tristan McKenzie, who are proven veterans. I'm not really sure what's going on with Cal besides the injury. He's not playing particularly that well this season. Last year, he had a lights out season. He won every game at home except for the playoff game against the New York Yankees. And he lost to the Yankees again as well at New York. So unfortunately, that was a series that did not go that well for him. So it is what it is. But he hasn't really pitched that great. So that's one of the issues that they're having. And it looks like just got a notification that Tristan McKenzie will seek a second opinion after examination by the team's physician, Mark Schickendatz. after he confirmed the sprain of the ulnar collateral ligament. So Tristan is supposed to be down 4 to 6 weeks, but he's going to get a second opinion on that elbow. But I guess he wants to play. So the that's one of the things that's going on with this team. They Tristan said that the joint seems stable. It's just a matter of patience. He said they didn't necessarily give me any specific grades or how big anything was in there. They said a partial tear, probably going to take a month to 6 weeks, and from there reassess and talk about the procedures or how we move forward. So hopefully, um, this is non-surgically treated, and it says that UCL injuries can be not treated non-surgically, but most often require reconstructive surgery, typically referred to as Tommy John surgery. So that's something that could sideline Tristan for a year or longer. And it looks like the Guardians and Tristan McKenzie are hoping to avoid that. With him being so young, you don't want him to, like I said a little bit earlier, continue to derail his career with him being so young. And Terry Francona said that the Guardians always encourage players to get a second opinion when it comes to this, and they're working through the club and to get that second consultation. And he said that there could be a specific difference based on what they see. And Tristan said he feels better where he is now and talking to doctors like he did before his last start against Houston. So that is correct. He did not play. He did not pitch in the series against the Padres, and he did not pitch against the Diamondbacks. So Tristan said it's a tough situation, but I wouldn't say I'm banging my head on anything. It's just a bump in the road. We're just going to step forward and figure out where it initially started and how we could prevent it from happening again. And Francona said that Tristan has been unbelievably strong throughout this process, and that they're probably taking how the family is taking the news. And Francona said they're probably taking it harder than me. Tristan's coming back after rehabbing a shoulder sprain that kept him from making his season debut until June 4th against Minnesota. And he fully understands, even as young as he is, between wanting to be a competitor and prioritizing his health. And, you know, he says that most players are injured, but they fight through the stuff all year, and him saying having 2 months off, he wanted to go out there and definitely comes to play. As far as competitors go, we're going to get a bump. We're going to get bruises, and sometimes are worse than others. And he thought throwing too many sliders against Houston led to his arm discomfort. He threw 34 sliders against the Astros after throwing 14 in his previous start against the Twins. So he didn't think any particular pitch hurt him worse than any other. And it's just repetitive stress. So does that mean that he's going to have to take that slider out of his arsenal so it doesn't hurt anymore? That's one of the things that we might get into when we come back. But we're going to take another quick break. And you are listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. And we will be right back. Welcome back to Her and Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. Remember, you can always keep it locked here on your regular radio dial at 95.9 FM. You can download that WOVU app and listen to us on the go. And you can also listen online at WOVU.org. And you can always give us a call at 216-271-0959. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and you're listening to Her in the Huddle. Usually on Tuesdays, I have Eddie Scott with me and Brandy Fairfax, but they are not able to be with me today. So you have all of me for the next 30, not 34, but next 26 minutes. So right now, we're talking a little Guardians, and one of the issues that we have is Tristan McKenzie being hurt. So we just talked about that. One of the things is that on the good front, um, you got Jose Ramirez, who is rising in all-star voting, and can he be an all-star with the start that the Guardians have had? I think he can be an all-star. One of the things is, he's the heart and soul of this team, and I think him being that for this team is super important. And also, he is one of the contributors to why this team is winning. He's hitting at 285. Right now, he has 11 home runs for this team. He's had 267 at bats with 41 hits. 41 runs, 76 hits, 43 RBI based on balls. So he's been walked 29 times. He struck out 26 times with 11 home runs, and he has 6 stolen bases. So right now, he's doing this thing. He's doing the thing for the Cleveland Guardians, and right now he's leading this team, which we need him to do. He's a veteran. He's making the most amount of money on this team. He re-signed as a free agent. So this is what Jose is doing. He's been an all-star the previous year. So, this guy is Mr. Guardians. He's Mr. Cleveland. And he definitely, I believe, will be in the all-star game. It's whether or not Jose will actually be a starter in this all-star game. And I think possibly he could be. Obviously, voting is taking place right now for these all-star teams, and make sure you go ahead and vote for him. He has some pretty stiff competition, but go ahead and vote for Jose. And I think that he can actually be a starter. I'm going to go ahead and cast my vote right now. So I did for Jose Ramirez. And like I said, he has some pretty stiff competition for third base. One is Alex Bregman from the Houston Astros. So, he's hitting at 242 with 9 home runs, 40 RBI, and 725 OPS. So we just faced him not too long ago. I believe that Jose has the highest batting average out of all of the other third basemen. So that's definitely a good thing. So that probably should earn him a start. Looks like he also has maybe he's set, so he's third most and fourth most in home runs, it looks like. So if you're really counting home runs, do you um, take away from that as well? He has an 851 OPS. So that's also good too. Checking to see if any of the other um, people. Yeah, so he has the highest OPS. Let's check and see his RBI. So it looks like it's just a couple of players with higher RBIs than that of what could possibly be starters. Rafael Devers has the highest amount of RBIs on these potential league leaders. So I think Jose should be able to start because he's pretty much leading statistically some of these categories. But even if he's not able to start, that's fine. Him just being voted an all-star is something that's definitely cool. Something that this team can look forward to as another accolade that Jose Ramirez has had. Our closer, Don't really know what's going to happen with him as far as making the All Star game. Let's see if he's up for a vote for the All Star. And I'm checking to see right now. Um, and I just had a brain freeze about who our closer is. Let's go from the closer. Emmanuel Classe, excuse me. So Emmanuel Classe, he leads baseball with 20 saves. Even though he's had some blown saves, he's still leading Major League Baseball. So let's see if he can make it, if he can make the All Star game. I really haven't, heard too much about him being able to do this. Um, but Emmanuel Classe was one of the first. He's one of the best performances by closer in All Star games. So that's super cool too. So he's kind of, this appears to be a down year for him, but he's still he's still one of the best closers in all of baseball, which is okay. Right now, he leads with 20 saves. Jordan Romano, 16. Felix Bautista at 15. Camilo Doval at 15. And Carlos Estevez by 15. So he leads in saves. He also leads in appearances and games finished. He leads in appearances at 31 and games finished at 28. So he has 5 blown saves under his belt, which is another league leading stat. But I'll go ahead and take those saves that he has. So hats off to him for what he's doing in the majors. And, he still comes out looking good the majority of occasions. When the saves are blown, it's a huge thing. But, he saved more than he actually has lost. So I'll take that all day. And that's a good thing. So, can this team still contend for the Central Division? Absolutely. They're not out of it yet. They're just 2 games. And like I was saying a little bit earlier in the show, if they get hot at the right time, they're definitely going to be able to do this. So they're going to be able to take that lead in that division. All they need is a couple wins. They need to be able to beat Minnesota in the series that they have coming up with them. And if they're able to beat Minnesota, they're able to take the lead. So that's where you go when you need those head-to-head matchups is against the Twins. And they had a pretty important matchup against the Twins a little earlier in the season in Minnesota. And I believe that they played in Cleveland as well and were pretty successful against the Twins. So that's going to be something that's uber important coming down the line. But with the Central Division being as weak as it is, and it's known for being a historically weak conference, I think that the Cleveland Cavaliers will be able to overtake the Minnesota Twins and make it to the playoffs. So that's my prediction. I went for 100 wins, but right now we are 1/3 of the season. We're 1/3 of the season underway. So I obviously had to scale back on that 100 games prediction because they're not playing that well right now. You have hitting woes, you have pitching woes, but I believe that this team can pull it together and have a string of successes. They're only 2 games out of this, so I believe that they can pull ahead in the division. Minnesota is a tough team. They're a tough out, led by Max Kepler, which always has been an issue for the Cleveland Guardians. But this team can come back. They can win. And they can win the Central Division and make it to the playoffs. So that's my belief. So we're going to go ahead and take another break. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM with Rachel Hill. We'll be right back. Hey, I'm on air. I'm going to have to call you back. Okay. All right. Bye.
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
What?
You're doing a great job.
Oh, thanks.
It's all yours. So scared to do it by yourself.
I'm not. I just don't like to.
That's how you got to do it. You're supposed to. It is your show. And if you can't get them, see, you always want to lie on. You want to listen to that. You want to debate things stuff. No, what you need to be doing is get people more interviews than anything. You talk a lot about baseball. Why do you call it anybody from baseball to cover the Guardians? Stuff happening in the NBA. Talk about that trade, Bradley
About
Beal.
to. That's what's up.
Like, but you got to call get people to talk about it. That's what's part of it. Did you work today?
No. I told you I got fired.
Exactly. So what you're doing during the daytime, you need to be fixing stuff for your show. Use this time to fix your show.
You right. As always.
You good. I'm listening, trust. You good.
Thank you. All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. So we're going to move a little bit to basketball. We've talked a lot of Guardians. Usually we don't do the whole show on the Guardians, but today we did, and that's okay because it's a lot going on with this team right now, but I believe that they will have a brighter future ahead. But let's move on to some basketball because we got some basketball to talk about. Really quickly, we're going to so let's do this. So the Cavs are looking to trade into the first round. They don't have a first round a first round pick, excuse me, because they traded for Karis LeVert to Indiana. The area of need is small forward and the replacement for Kevin Love. So they're looking to move into the late round. And one of the things is obviously small forward. Some people, it brings up debate when you talk about Isaac Okoro, but right now, Isaac Okoro, is a pretty good defender, but right now you're not getting any points for him. So one of the options that you could possibly have is Kyle Kuzma. He did decline his option with the Wizards to become a free agent. And could he possibly be a target for the Cavs as small forward? So the Cavs have to get a scoring option there. He the Cavaliers should be trying to woo him to Cleveland. I think his option was $13 million per year with the Washington Wizards. So the Cavs should be trying to woo Kyle Kuzma to Cleveland. And I think that he could be a great replacement for Isaac Okoro. You move Isaac Okoro to the bench, and that could be done. I think. Obviously, one thing is, he's not known for being the best defender, but that's okay, and I will take that absolutely over what he can bring as far as 21 points average, where you're getting 6 points, less than 10 points from the small forward position. I think that he could be a great addition to what the Cavs are trying to do, how they are trying to move forward in the future. And Kuzma could possibly, be that player for them. Right now, Washington might be trying to start over, and that's one of the things that when the team is starting over or looking to rebuild, they start getting rid of players and players start opting out because also there was Bradley Beal, it was traded to Phoenix. And with that advent, there could be a big four in Phoenix with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. And you also got DeAndre Ayton on that team. And can they find a way to win with those pieces? Can they actually compete in the West? Because Phoenix has been having some good years and they were rather pedestrian this year, even with the addition of Kevin Durant. They weren't able to make it out of the Western Conference. And I was thinking with Kevin Durant, that could always be a possibility, but, they didn't play that well in the playoffs. So could Bradley Beal be the much needed addition because Chris Paul is gone for that team, and it looks like that the Phoenix Suns were planning for a post Chris Paul season. And well, post Chris Paul future, excuse me. So with this team with Bradley Beal, be able to make a deeper run in the playoffs. And I think possibly so. Bradley Beal is a former All Star, so he's a great player. He was paired with John Wall. So I definitely think that that's going to be a formidable team. I think that they can compete in the West, and I think that that's going to be a great addition for them. So I'm looking I'm looking forward to watching some Phoenix games, but obviously I'm not a big Kevin Durant fan after he went to the Lakers, so that's another thing as well. But I like Devin Booker, I like DeAndre Ayton, and I like Bradley Beal. So we're gonna see what happens post that. But getting back to Kyle Kuzma, a little bit information on him. He has a knack for scoring in a lot of ways. He has great scoring instincts, so that's something that the Cavs need. He's fast and explosive. He can create his own shot, which is something that the Cleveland Cavaliers struggle with. People being able to create their own shots outside of Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. So that's also one of the things that you need. Karis LeVert was able to do that at times, but he obviously wasn't a starter. Evan Mobley, at times, Evan can create his own shots, and Jarrett does not shoot the ball at all. Everything he has is around the rim. So you can have Kyle Kuzma often open up that offense for you. Um, and also, he makes opponents respect who he is. And he's also a reliable player in the clutch. That's something that we need as well. We need players to be able to take shots other than having the ball in Darius Garland's hands and Donovan Mitchell's hands at the end of the game. So we need players to be able to take shots other than them. So you have a scoring option. You have somebody that's, other teams can actually have to defend, because right now, Isaac Okoro is self-check, and he was left wide open, especially in that series against the Knicks, because they knew that he would knock down shots. So he was left wide open when it came to that, because there's no fear when he plays. So I think that the Cleveland Cavaliers should go after Kyle Kuzma. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Ja Morant suspension. I do not believe that suspension should have been as long as it is. I believe it's 25 games. And, I talked with DJ Chris Styles about this, and I actually had changed my mind about it. One of the things is I definitely, he didn't commit any crime. And I don't, and that's one of my issues as well, is that you've had other, 25 games. You've had other NBA players actually pictured with guns and things like that. Obviously, it's a little different. He was on video, but it's his First Amendment right to be a gun owner. So if he didn't commit any crimes or anything like that, why is he being suspended? And I guess maybe it is to deter other people from um, appearing on video with guns as well. But like I said before, there was no crime committed. So I don't believe Ja Morant should have been suspended for 25 games. I don't believe he should have been suspended at all when you have pictures of white players and black players with guns, and they have not faced any long suspension. So I don't know if Ja Morant could appeal this suspension. I know that the players league was not very happy about this. He was suspended last year for 8 games for appearing with a gun as well. But hopefully he can take the time and just put the gun down. Obviously, he should be I don't he should be a gun owner because he has a right to the Second Amendment. But if it's jeopardizing his career, having a gun in videos and things like that, I think that he should refrain from doing that. So, but it is what it is. And really quickly, Draymond Green declined his player option with the Warriors. Could this be the end of a dynasty? He is an unrestricted free agent, so any team can offer him any money. But recently, he was spotted vacationing with LeBron James in France, and people are wondering if this could be a could if Draymond could be an addition for the Lakers right now. They are pretty close, and I imagine that LBJ would want many players to come with him that he personally likes and feels that they can improve the team in any way after they got swept by the Denver Nuggets. One of the things is I'm thinking that Draymond could be a fit there. I'm thinking Draymond could be a fit anywhere. I think he could be a fit with the Cleveland Cavaliers. A lot of people are talking about whether or not his skills have declined, but he's still a major role with the Golden State Warriors. He's still a major player. He's still a good player. He can create off his own shot. Obviously, he's great at 3 pointers. I believe he can be a team leader. But there's been an issue with him in Golden State since he punched Jordan Poole, which was not good at all. And Jordan Poole is the future of the franchise. So if there is a parting of ways between him and Golden State, that is one of the things that contributed to that. And he's that bully as well. So I believe that one time Steve Kerr was caught lip reading, saying he was sick of Draymond's stuff. So, but this team is a championship winning team, winning the title. Not this past season because that was the Denver Nuggets, but the season before that. So, Draymond Green was pivotal to all of the playoffs all of the playoff wins and all of the titles that they've played in, winning all of them except for a couple. And obviously, Draymond was needed in that 2016 series, but he was not available. And just also want to say June 19th, yesterday, was the 7th-year anniversary of that title. But this is it for me. This has been Her in the Huddle on WOVU at 95.9 FM. So from Rachel Hill, for Eddie Scott, for Brandy Fairfax, we are out of here.